Hello to everyone. This is Viewpoint on Noyan Tapan TV, and I am Benyamin Poghosyan. In this episode, we will discuss the US new national security strategy, which was published on October 12, 2022. While speaking about US national security strategies, first of all, we should understand that these are documents which shape the policy, foreign policy and domestic policy of the incumbent administrations in the United States. So at least starting from 1990s, every new administration published its own new national security strategy. For example, when George Bush Jr. came to power, he published his national security strategy in 2002. Then there was another national security strategy published in 2006. President Obama also put forward his ideas in his national security strategies, and President Trump published its national security strategy in December 2017. When Biden administration came to power, immediately within 1.5 months, they published so-called interim guidance for the national security policy of current administration. The document was published in March 2021, and it gave preliminary and initial understanding how Biden administration views the world and what will be Biden's administration foreign and domestic policy goals. Most probably, the full national security strategy should be published a little bit earlier, probably in late 2021 or early 2022, but the war in Ukraine definitely impacted the situation. In any case, Biden's administration's full national security strategy was published on October 12, 2022. What can we understand when we are looking to this document? First of all, there is a very clear vision in this national security strategy. It's a vision about the struggle or war or fight between democracies and autocracies. This idea was also the cornerstone of the 2021 March interim guidance, which was published by Biden administration. And the inclusion of this idea in US national security strategy shows that this idea, that the 21st century geopolitics is mainly about fight between democracies and autocracies, will continue to shape the Biden's administration understanding of the world affairs at least until end of 2024, when the United States will have a new presidential elections in November. The second issue, there is a clear statement in US new national security strategy that world leads American leadership. And it's very interesting that even after 30 years of the collapse of the Soviet Union and the start of the so-called unipolar world or unipolar moment, and after approximately 14 years since 2008 world financial crisis or global financial crisis, which started to create a cracks in this unipolar world order, completely led and dominated by the United States, still the United States believes that the US should lead the world. So, accordingly, we may argue that at least in Biden administration, they are not satisfied with the situation when there is a transformation of world order or global order from unipolar to multipolar system. And the United States will try to do everything within its capacities and capabilities to, if not completely halt the process, at least to postpone the transformation of world order to the multipolarity. And United States strongly believes that it should lead the world, and the United States believes that other world powers, small powers, middle powers, and even great powers, mostly they are interested in US leadership, because only the US leadership can bring the common good to everyone. The third idea in this new US national security strategy is the idea that the United States, first of all, should fix its own health. What does it mean? It means that the United States should improve its infrastructure, United States should improve its political system, United States should improve its technological system, United States should put forward the more emphasis on innovations to keep the competitive edge in modern digital technologies. So, to be able to lead the world, United States, first of all, should renovate itself and should fix the problems within United States. Then, when speaking about foreign policy, there is a clear statement that Russia and China are the main problems, issues faced by the United States. But again, here there is a distinction. Russia is a near-term problem, and Russia is a near-term threat because, as the United States believes, Russia is violating international laws, international norms. Russia is fighting against the rules-based international order. There are a separate chapter about war in Ukraine, when United States claims that it will continue to support Ukraine and to help Ukraine to provide weapons, money, and etc. as long as it's needed to allow Ukraine to defend itself against Russian intervention. So Russia is a very bad guy, and it's an imminent and current, very dangerous this moment threat. Regarding the China position, a little bit is another. China is perceived as the only power which has the capacity to really challenge the US leadership in the world. So from American perspective, if there would be a final transformation from unipolar world to the multilateral or multipolar world, this should be done not through Russia's efforts, despite Russia is a really threat and danger, but this can be done only by China. And then United States believes that the competition with China will continue. United States argues that it is ready for responsible competition, but simultaneously China is perceived as a malign actor, which wants first of all to dominate Indo-Pacific region or Asia-Pacific region, and then probably even dominate the world. On Taiwan issue, national security strategy argues that the United States does not support Taiwan independence. It adheres to one China policy, but simultaneously United States argues that it will not allow the change of status quo around Taiwan. What does it mean? De facto now Taiwan is a de facto independent state. Also world recognize it as a part of China, but de facto Taiwan is an independent state. And from Chinese perspective, Taiwan should become not only de jure but also de facto part of China. And China argues that it should pursue the policy of peaceful unification. Taiwan should come back to China through peaceful means. But the United States, in this new national security strategy, argues that they will not allow the forced change of status quo in Taiwan. And what does it mean? From American perspective, even Chinese efforts towards peaceful unification of Taiwan with China, it means the change of status quo. And while China speaks about peaceful unification and about peaceful means, United States can simply state that any means to unite Taiwan with China, they are forced, and that is why United States will oppose them. So on Taiwan, it's a strategic ambiguity. United States does not support Taiwan's independence, but de facto United States states and argues and claims that it will not allow the unification of Taiwan with China, and it will create obstacles for Chinese peaceful unification policy with Taiwan, which means that at the end of the day, the China-United States relations will become more and more complicated. In this new national security strategy, United States speaks also about common challenges like climate change, like epidemics, and etc. And there is a clear understanding that the United States needs cooperation with other great powers, including with those whom he believes they are trying to undermine the rules-based order, like China and Russia. United States still needs cooperation with them to fight against these global challenges. Again, climate change, pandemics, COVID-19, future pandemics, etc. But also, the United States clearly states that it will not allow China and Russia to use the potential cooperation in these global issues as a leverage to be used to reach concrete gains in bilateral relations or in other geopolitical issues. So United States is telling, okay, I'm ready to cooperate with China and Russia on global issues, but I will not sacrifice my pure geopolitical interests only to get cooperation from China and Russia. So we will cooperate, but I will pursue my geopolitical interests. If China and Russia believes that they can use the cooperation on global issues as a leverage against the United States and against United States geopolitical interests, United States is not going to do that. Summing up, we may argue that still United States believes that it could lead the world. United States believes that if not absolute majority, at least the vast majority of countries in the world still strive for US leadership, want US leadership, and are happy to live under the US leadership. Of course, at the end of the day, we all understand that the unipolar world order is in the transformation phase and it cannot be extended forever. However, this new US national security strategy gives us a hint that the United States will do everything to postpone the demise of unipolar world order, and the United States will do everything to continue as long as possible its dominance over the world. This is all for today. Thank you, and we will meet soon.